with some beautiful beads, wires of 24 and 20 gauge, and 3 main tools, round nose pliers, chain nose pliers, and flush cutter, we start to make a very beautiful wire pendant. Pick up the 20 gauge wire and leave about 18 centimeters from one side, and then with your chain nose pliers, make a total bend with chain nose pliers and then squeeze it and make it separated a little with round nose pliers, and keep one side of this strand above and one another at the bottom of that one. Pick up a cylindrical shape with 2 sides of circles. Use the smaller one for the inner part of the moon and make a bigger one for the outer part. You could use any kind of cylindrical shapes to have this very beautiful wire moon like a marker. Then at the upper side, make a complete bend again, and I'm using my round nose pliers. It could be curved a little or it could be sharp. Then cut the wire out and about 3 or 4 centimeters at one side, and still we have a longer tail. You could make the upper edge a little sharp with squeezing it with the chain nose pliers just like this, and then form the upper side with round nose pliers to have a better curved shape. While you have bent the smaller tail and hooked all around the longer one, we are going to make shapes with that tail. First of all, I make a little loop like this with rounding and wrapping this wire inside the moon frame, and this is the time for inserting the beads in. I'm using 2mm crystal beads. Again, I'm wrapping and rounding the wire to have another loop, and I do that twice, and this is the place where a bigger crystal bead is going to be put. I wrap it again, one another round at the top of the first one, and here we are going to insert another 3 little beads just like the first one. So I insert those 2mm crystal beads and another loop inside the moon frame is needed, the symmetrical shape of the first loop, and then I wrap it into the frame and make a tie here. I repeat that for 2 or 3 times to have a very little wire coiling part to attach this part to the frame. Then cut it out, and don't forget to squeeze the ending point onto the work so that there wouldn't be any sharp edges. After finishing with the main structure, we are going at the top in that little tail. Let's see, here needs to be squeezed more to be attached tightly to the frame, and here we are going to make another wire coiling part, but first I make a 90-degree bend to that little and short tail, and then with round nose pliers I make a closed loop just like this and wrap the extra part all over, and this would be the bail for this beautiful wire pendant. Now for this part that we have an overlap, I use the 24 gauge wire as the thinner wire to make a wire coiling part and to make a joint here. Just insert it in and make a tie, and you could use your round nose pliers to do that better and easier. And then wrap it and insert it again to make the second wire wrapping part, and continue doing that for 2 or 3 times. Then cut the start and ending points and squeeze them. Again, I need the 24 gauge wire to make another wire coiling part at the central bigger loop that we are going to add and join the bigger beads, the pink one that is attached. And then here I'm going to add the teardrop shaped crystal bead with the thinner wire. And of course, we had the tutorial on how to make one at the link above. Now we have these 2 particles that need to be attached together with a jump ring. So I attach them with a little jump ring and then squeeze the upper side of this frame to keep the crystal bead tight. And it's almost done, the very beautiful wire pendant. And the final trick, use lemon juice and salt to make this beautiful pendant shiny, so that if there is any oxidized or darkened areas, that would be all shiny and brightened. That would be so beautiful. Just examine it one time, and that's almost done. Our very beautiful moon wire pendant. Hope you make one and enjoy it so much. Take care.